I started Angified Presents.
We share the love of music.
It has been medicine and therapy. Nothing else worked.
It has saved many of us. With mental health, we need to open our eyes.
Hurt people hurt people.
We ask that you listen, comprehend, and relate with your ears.
Form that heart of unity and one.
We share on this stage.
Statistics, feelings,
And ourselves.
we stand with the belief to be you, to be heard, and to be original.
We all may be different, with opinions and beliefs.
At the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters.
We are family.
We ask that you join us in a magical journey with artists from around the world. Open your minds, let in the love,
and listen with your hearts.
We all want a better tomorrow. Be one.
Communicate and look out for one another. And then, and only then, will you find the world.
We
will
find
find
peace
peace
in all the world.
You'll find the world. And you will find in this shining world. He was among us in every boy and girl. Many have been broken, red hearts turn black,
Chris Liepe. Thanks for tuning in on Tuesday. If you haven't already gone ahead and given this show a heart and a share, please go ahead and do so. We are sharing the love here tonight with Chris Liepe. This first video, there you go. Here's all the information that you need to know.
The
world is a vampire.
That's what I first thought when I heard Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins. Initially. Then one of my friends at the time forced Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness on me. He said, "You're going to borrow this and you're going to listen to it all the way through. And if you're still complaining about Billy Corgan by the end, you won't be." And he was right. Not only is that album one of my favorite long double albums ever, I became more and more enthralled with Billy Corgan's approach. You say, really? What was initially the most irritating thing about him became one of the most empowering things for me as a vocalist. Yes, especially in light of my love for other singers at the time, like Lane Staley and Chris Cornell. It's the nose. He is one of the most chronically and constantly nasal singers out there. But if you know what to listen for, it will unlock so many amazing things. Mixed voice high notes, screams. It's not always just in the same place nasal. He's got multiple voices within his range of textures that give major things away.
Hold you up to the flames.
He's moving that around. Hold you up to the flames. There's also this element of whisper versus harshness that comes into play.
Even though
I suppose. Hear the contrast there?
all my cool and like old Joe.
Here's why this is so powerful, especially when you combine it with your other influences. This section of Burden in My Hand.
Crack a smile and cut your mouth.
That vocal would not be what it is without the nasality, without the nose. And it's the same posture in a different voice and a different range as Billy Corgan. It's not crack a smile and cut your mouth. No, that sounds bland. It's crack. It's quack, 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 crack. Crack a smile and cut your mouth and drown in alcohol. That moving in and out of nasality is what gives that line its charm. And it does the same thing in Billy's delivery.
And took my shelter in that pain.
Having this consciousness of movement makes it easier for me to get into my grit because I'm not locking myself into one throat position.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage.
And you can hear it in Billy's voice too. This nasality is an accessory. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. What will happen if you embrace this? It makes it easier to scream and abandon into different parts of your voice. Do you hear how desperate and disconnected and vulnerable that scream was? Ooh, but you can't get stuck in it. Stuck in anything is not good.
Now I'm naked.
Now I'm naked. It's the contrast and movement in and out of nasality that makes it work. And that's what I didn't hear when I was sort of passively listening to Billy in the beginning.
For just one more show.
For just one more show.
What do you got?
What do you got? Lots of things are coming out in my voice kind of by accident, just by embracing what I'm hearing him do. That's 3 very different textures in one line. He's doing it. I put it in my own voice. I do it. Embrace the nose rule. Make it a point to move your resonance and placement in and out of your nose. Don't be concerned about being nasal. Be nasal on purpose and see what kind of flavors come out of your voice. If you enjoy my unconventional coaching approach and you would like to unlock more things with your own voice and discover what it can really do, click the link below and join my free voice course. And if you'd like to learn more about how nasality can be a tool instead of an obstacle to a great voice, try this video. Hey, Chris Liepe here, helping you sing better, hopefully. In this video, I want to address dynamics and having command over dynamics in your voice independently of what notes you're singing, but more dependently on what you are feeling and how you want to communicate a certain phrase. Some of this deals with tapping into emotion. A lot of this, for me, when I'm singing live especially, functions as a way for me to be extremely loud and aggressive when I need to be, but also because I'm not always, I don't have the gas pedal down all the way, all the time. It allows me to conserve my voice and be more interesting, emotionally connect better to my audience. If we're not careful, we get into this mindset of like, support, whoa, okay, and we start singing at this one volume. We have our one singing volume as if that is a thing. And it's really not. It shouldn't be. It really should be that your singing voice is the most dynamic and versatile and interesting in terms of volume. And we have built into our voice so many different ways to resonate. We need to tap into that stuff. We need to learn to consistently and almost subconsciously eventually tap into those things to deliver interesting performances, interesting lines. So we're going to practice this directly in this video in 2 ways. The first is this. I'm going to choose a note, and you've seen me do something similar to this before if you've been following this channel. I'm going to choose a note, and I'm just going to work on cultivating as many different ways to sing that note as possible. Sometimes it's going to be quiet. Sometimes it's going to be breathy. Sometimes it's going to be not breathy. And I'm not even going to, do I have all my bases covered? I'm just going to kind of get into that note. Happens to be a B. There's a note. If you have to surround it with other notes as you're getting into it, that's okay. But I want to get super quiet and intimate and super aggressive with it. And this is a higher note. I'll do it with a lower note in a minute. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lots of variety there, right? This is what we're going for when we're first discovering. Now you want to be attentive to feel and make sure you're not hurting yourself during this exercise. And there's a lot of foundational things that you need to have down before you can do this effectively. So if this exercise feels way too overwhelming for you, be sure to click the link below and join my free vocal course because I lay the foundation for being able to do what I'm talking about in this video. There's also other videos that I do on YouTube that discuss things like vocal compression, screaming, singing aggressively, using your break, loving your break, all those things. So check out those as well. But when we're doing this, if you have those foundational things down already, it's important that you kind of put those aside and just focus on the emotion of the note. Let's take that same note and let's just do it lower. Low, super tender, low. And I'm going to put my headphones on so I can interact with the microphone better. This is a really, if I were to recommend a tip for getting good feedback about your voice and saving it so you don't over-sing, get a good pair of headphones. I've talked about headphones on this channel before. Get a nice mic and sing into it and enjoy the sound, the feedback that you get from your own voice. Low, low, low. La, la, la. And some vibrato, however you know how. La, 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 la. Hypercompression. Can I get into a pure head resonance with this one? Maybe. So take a higher note and a more comfortable middle note and do this. How versatile can you be with the note? Then, let's take it to a phrase. Here's the phrase we're going to use. When I feel the wind at my back. And we're going to get into the emotion of this. We can sing any notes we want. I'm going to do this in the key of C. You could do it however you want. We want to feel the emotion of the words that we're singing and connect it to our voice using dynamics. This may mean that we choose different notes sometimes. This is a vocal improv exercise, really, at its core. But it's going to help us practice dynamics using what we just did. So here's how this is how I warm up a lot. This is how I get in the mood to sing. And really just in the mood for music. It's so life-giving to go through this sort of exercise that I'm going to be doing right now. So I hope you enjoy it when you do it and you enjoy seeing me go through it. When I feel the wind at my back. How does my voice feel over certain chords? How am I able to dial in a particular note and get a resonance that feels good and sounds good? Take it slow, no tempo, but choose chords that are interesting. I'm using C to an F, major 7-ish, and a D, dominant 7. When I feel the wind at my back. There's that one note thing. The wind at my back. Don't judge what comes out of your mouth. Don't judge it as to whether it sounds bad or good. Some of it's going to sound good, some of it's not. Be free. Be in tune with how you feel about the notes. I know this sounds maybe a little weird, but it is more important than any scale you're ever going to sing to help your voice. When I feel the wind at my Get lost in the moment. Get lost in the phrase. Get lost in the music. Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about what you think. This is how to practice dynamics. And as you go through this regularly, you're going to discover so many things about your voice. Like, for example, if you're working on vocal compression or screaming or something like that, and you're in the moment and doing these sorts of things with your voice, there's going to be times where you are singing like this and, oh, I did something really cool there. Stop and think about how it felt. Think about what it did for your confidence. Discovering in this way is really fun. So I encourage you to dial in your dynamics in this way and be thinking more about how to sing dynamically. Again, if you'd like more help with your voice, how to get some of those fundamental aspects of singing under your belt, literally, so that you can discover what your voice can really do, be sure to join my free vocal course linked below. We'll see you for more. If you've been following the channel for any length of time, recently you probably know that I'm on a bit of a Gerard Way kick. I love his voice. I love how expressive it is. Sometimes, yes, only sometimes, I really love the YouTube algorithm because as I start going down rabbit holes, it shows me things. And I found this raw recording of Gerard going through drowning lessons in the studio, looping it, and the producer was kind of speaking, try this again, try that again.
Play it back, it actually sounds good.
I listened to this line, I looped the video a bunch of times, and I was like, I have got to talk about this on the channel. What he's doing with his voice is absolute gold. Listen and watch. First of all, he's like into that mic and moving around. And
I can join dances in there. Fucking dance.
He's not self-conscious at all. He's just immersed in delivering this energy. Okay, that's the overarching theme we need to keep in mind. The words he's singing, we can wash down this engagement ring with poison and kerosene. But you hear him hawk. You hear this sighs. When's the last time your vocal coach gave you an exercise like either of those things? Listen again to the kind of engagement that's happening with his singing in the midst of these sounds. Engagement ring! Hawk! If we sigh and then really try to choke and then let our voice engage in any way that it sort of does without trying to force anything but just kind of take what comes, we get this really interesting false chord engagement. But then he goes a step further. He starts singing in a normal voice after that. What if you hawk and then go into a note? I love to sing. I love to sing. Yeah! There's some really interesting things that happen there. Now, the second part where he's saying kerosene. Sane! This belly laugh. I strongly encourage you to take it out of the lyrical context that he's using so you don't try to imitate him, but really experiment with what you're doing. Jolly. Jolly! Jolly! But square this with your actual singing. Jolly! Never mind, I'm saying jolly and not jolly. Who cares? Jolly! 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 Oh! Jolly! With kerosene! I'm jolly! With kerosene! Yeah! I have to admit, when I was first listening to Gerard Way, I did not pull this stuff out of his voice, and I certainly didn't think to try it in my own voice. But over the years, and certainly as I've gotten more into what he's done and lots of other vocalists, This way of learning, pulling these strange secondary sounds, seemingly secondary sounds, out of these vocalists and experimenting with my own voice, not being afraid that I'm going to sound stupid, not even really being afraid that I'm going to hurt myself. You're not going to hurt yourself. When I started to embrace this way of learning about my voice, everything opened up for me. And I hope as you try this stuff, the same will be said for your journey. If you'd like more help unlocking your voice and you like my unconventional approach, click the link below and join my free voice course, and I'll help you do just that. And for more on my rabbit trails about Gerard Way, check out this playlist. Hey, Chris Liepe here, helping you discover your musical voice, helping you become a more confident and comfortable singer. We spend all this time on our singing voice and, how to sing safely and not hurt yourself while you scream and belt without causing damage and sing along. We do a lot and think a lot as singers in that arena. In fact, sometimes we think so much in that direction that we forget about some things that could be sneaking in and trashing our voice that have nothing to do with singing. Even half an hour to an hour of being in an environment like that can tire your voice out like crazy. Properly trained, singing right for 3 hours feels actually better than that. One of the biggest things for my voice, and I know for a lot of other vocalists who sing regularly, one of the biggest things is being in environments where we're having to talk loudly, like a loud restaurant or bar, particularly in the evening time when it's supposed to be our time off where we're unwinding or whatever, and we've just spent the day working, probably talked, and I don't know, maybe sang a little bit during the day, and then we go out to dinner or go to a bar and unwind, and it's loud, and we talk and talk and talk and talk, and then, this has happened to me a bunch of times, the next day, I'm like, man, my voice just feels horrible, and then it starts to feel better throughout the day, and then you start to sing, and you're like, I've really strained my voice. Why is it that being in a environment like that and talking loudly can do so much, at least temporary damage, but can also really screw you up in the long term if you're not careful? Well, it's because we throw a lot of good techniques and good things in general out the window when we're in that environment. We're talking like this. We're trying to project over someone else. And we don't use range-filled dynamic speaking like I'm doing when I'm delivering to you now. We have this shout, and we're doing it all in this one area of our voice. Here's me at a bar in San Francisco for my brother's pre-wedding celebrations a couple months ago. Listen to the way I talk. So I've been in there for a couple hours now, and though I'm watching what I do with my voice, I can still feel it. And it really crept up on me as I've been talking to different people, as I've been just interacting. I don't think so much about how I'm projecting, and I'm trying to hear people, I'm trying to engage with people, and watching how I use my voice is really the last thing on my mind, even though I should be cognizant of it. So this is a really easy way to mess up your voice without without knowing it. La, 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 in that range. I'm even outside the bar when I'm filming this video because it's too loud to actually do it in there. But I'm still doing that. I'm very, very limited in how I'm speaking, and I'm projecting loudly over time. I was there for several hours, and my voice was, even though I was thinking about it, my voice was not in great shape the following day. Before we go any further, if you want help using your regular speech voice to help your singing, be sure to join my free vocal course linked below. I go over that at length in that course. So what can we do in these environments? We don't want to miss out on opportunities to socialize or to be there for friends and family or whatever. What can we do in those environments to make sure we don't screw up our voice? Well, here's what I've had to do and had to think about. These situations present themselves often. I have to be cognizant of my vocal budget. What am I doing throughout the day? Am I having to use my voice for work? Am I filming YouTube videos? Am I doing voiceover? Do I have a social event that I need to go to? What's that environment going to be like? I have to think about these things because I use my voice for so many different things. Thinking about it and planning for it is really most of what we need to be doing. Just being attentive to the fact that, oh, I've got this thing where I'm going to be speaking loudly tonight. I better be restful thinking the rest of the day. Don't plan something that has to happen on that day when you've got something else that has to happen with your voice that evening. The other thing that I like to do when I'm in those environments in particular is make sure that I am, while not violating people's personal space, that I'm in good proximity to who I'm speaking with. I will intentionally, unless we're sitting down, I'll intentionally, go over to a different area where someone's not shouting directly in my ear that I have to compete with. Or I might even, if I'm having a good conversation with someone, I might even go outside like I just did. Not to take away from the environment, but to just have that in the back of my mind that I need to take care of my voice, because not only for talking, but for singing, I need to be able to use it. And the other thing that I'll do a lot of, which I think comes back in a different way to be beneficial for the social situation, is when I get environments like this, I try to ask a lot of questions. Have other people talk. It gives me a chance to hear about what they're doing, what they're going through, what they're experiencing, and it gives me a chance to rest. So there's multiple benefits there. And then lastly, and I've said this in other videos, try to use range-filled dynamic speaking. Don't stick to one area of your voice and shout a long time like this. Don't do that. Even if you have to project loudly, do things that help you go up in pitch. Utilize your head resonance more and down in pitch. Up in pitch and down in pitch. You don't want to be ridiculous, but have that in the back of your mind, and you will notice that your voice will last longer. It's what I do on these videos, and it's more like singing. This is why, even a half an hour to an hour of being in an environment like that can tire your voice out like crazy. But properly trained, singing right for 3 hours feels actually better than that. Range-filled dynamic speaking is a huge way to apply what we have worked on with our voice, with our singing voice, to our speech, going the other direction. So keep in mind that sort of thing when you're in loud environments like this. So not a singing video directly for you in this video, but this is really important, and it's a sneaky, sneaky problem for lots of people. So I thought it was worth covering. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Be sure to join my free vocal course if you haven't already, to take your voice to the next level and learn how to save it for the long term for sure. And we'll see you for more. Hey, Chris Liepe here with a quick and effective way to practice becoming more comfortable and more in tune with your comfortable range as a singer. I've been doing this for as long as I can remember, maybe since my mid-teens, when I was discovering how my voice worked. And now I use a cell phone and a piano on the cell phone to do it, and it's really effective. But before that, I would take a tuning fork and I would just have it in my pocket, and I knew that that was an A, and I would use that as a reference pitch throughout the day. So that's another way to do it, but the cell phone is much cooler. So here's what I do. I'll be either listening to some music in the car, or I'll hear a pitch or a tone of some kind. Maybe it's the noise when you get in your car. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, okay. What is that note? It's a B flat. And then I would get to a place where I'd memorize that sound, and I'd know that that was a B flat. And I'll say I'm on a walk, or I'm in my car, or whatever. And I would just practice singing that note. Sing it in as many different ways as I possibly could. Usually on la or yeah. Yeah, yeah. Sing octaves. And I'd slide between. I still do this. Slide between the different octaves. Get a feel for any random pitches that come at you throughout the day. I found that this was really beneficial for me in my singing, because when I would be in a situation where I was singing live or even in the studio working on a song, I found that over time I became so intimately familiar with certain notes that it drastically increased my confidence when one of those notes showed up in a song. It's like, oh yeah, I was screaming that in the car the other day. Or, oh yeah, that's the same pitch as the microwave in my kitchen. That beep is the same pitch, and I've already experimented with that in this casual, doesn't really matter way. Now, you might be thinking, well, what if I'm at work and I hear something? Well, you go take a walk, go do something where you can be a little free with what you're doing, or go to your car for a second. One of my favorite places to practice is in the car with a set of earplugs. It's been an amazing way for me to discover more about what's comfortable with my voice and to build confidence when I really do step up to sing. So let's try a few more. Instead of hearing a tone, I'm just going to play something randomly. La, 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 la. Let's see if I can find that again. It's a G, okay? G, whoa, la, 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 la. It's close to the bottom. I'm just making observations. La. Can I go lower? La, 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 la. La, la, la. Good chesty note. La, la. I can hit that in regular chest, but it's better if I mix it a little. If you want to see videos about how to use your mixed voice and how to discover it, be sure to check out other videos on this channel. And if you want to take your singing further in general, be sure to join my free vocal course listed below, where I actually walk through some of these types of exercises with fellow YouTuber and friend David Walliman, who prior to this had very little singing experience. So you get to walk through discovering some things as he discovers them for the first time. Anyway. La 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 la. I don't know if I can quite get there. La. It's like an F sharp. Almost. We don't want to be straining too much. Okay, let's go to a different one. Oh, it's a G again. La la la, huh? La. So there was la to la. So that's a B. I'm using intervallic pitch memory. La, Yep, okay. Let's try that one out. La, la, la. Good lower chesty note. La, 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 la. That's one of my favorite, like, mixed belt notes, is a B. That's, as I've learned about my voice, B, C, C sharp, even D, those are fun notes for me to build power on. La, 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 la. You can also do fun things like that. And this is a huge part of the way I practice this, where I'll take just one note and then work around it and just have fun being in the presence of that note and around that note. Whoa, yeah, 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 yeah. Doesn't even matter what I'm doing. I'm just getting into it and becoming familiar with how that B works in the context of the rest of my voice. La la la. G sharp. La la la. Whoa! 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 There's that G sharp. Whoa! Whoa! Yeah! So if that's a G sharp, I'm going G sharp to C. Whoa, 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 whoa. G sharp. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. One more. E. Yeah. Some days I can hit an E all the way down there. It's not today. Yeah. E. Yeah. Oh. There it is. Oh. 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 It's not very strong today. Oh. I bet if I warmed that up a little bit more, I could get there. Whoa. Already a lot easier. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's coming back. Yeah, yeah. Now notice, I could not hit that note when I first started. Couldn't do it. But as I went around the note, and as I played with it a little bit, got my vocal cords conditioned to being in that register, I was able to do it. You're going to discover that about the high notes too. Sometimes you might not be able to directly get there, but over time, as you do this and as you get comfortable with the notes around the notes, this is a really, really awesome, helpful way to just constantly be breaking in your voice. So give this a try. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions as you go through it, and also be sure to mention in comments if there's anything else you'd like me to cover here on this channel. Happy to take requests and do videos about them. Again, be sure to join my free singing course below if you'd like to take your voice to the next level. Free your voice. Discover what it can really do. And if you like the videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel. There's lots more on here about great singing and some guitar playing and recording as well. See you for more.